Welcome, everybody. John Zegar. JohnZagar.com. How's everybody doing? Good? Good. So, here on the Eastern Slope, overcast. I don't think we're supposed to get any rain or snow. It's 40. It's warmed up. It's supposed to be warm for the next, I think next week. For the next week, it's supposed to stay warm. 40 is warm for us. 40 is really warm for us. So I'm pretty happy with that. Just left the gym, cleaned up and did all that whatnot. Got it all done. Good with that. Slept pretty well last night. The temperature was up, so didn't freeze too much. Actually felt good. This morning, maybe try to do a little shorter podcast, kind of a follow-up on some of the things I've been talking about. And I'm not quite sure where this is going to go, but we'll give it a shot. So, everybody's struggling. I mean, just read the internet, read the newspaper, listen to the news, watch TV, whatever the thing is you do to get your information, go do it. And it's going to basically say that times are not good financially for people. And they can be specific about that and talk in specific terms about why the economy has tanked. It's kind of funny. Yesterday, Biden got on and tried to answer that question. And, of course, all he could do was say, it was like this, in the previous administration. And that's what I inherited. That's partly the reason that people are so upset and angry and bitter and harsh about the hard times we all are going through. The current administration hasn't done anything to improve our well-being. That's real clear. So the previous administration partly kind of pissed a lot of people off because they kept doing things to enhance the growth of the country and the people individually. And I suppose, the richer people probably got hurt by that. He was just trying to help the everyday guy out there make it a little bit better for their families. Somebody asked me about, I've been writing a little bit about God. I don't normally do that, but I felt like, I'm kind of angry these days. Maybe I'll talk a little bit about God and what's he got to do with it. And pass along a few stories. Pass along a few stories about how it's not been good for a lot of people. And how much of that belongs to God and how much of that belongs to the devil. How much of that belongs to you and I and what we do and think and feel and how we act and all that good stuff. I think, being brought up Catholic, I think we're responsible for our own behavior and our own actions. And I'm going to take my coat off. It's pretty warm in here. You know, we have free will. We were given free will. Go do what you want. And, you know, the consequences are yours. Can't argue that. That's a pretty good gift, actually, if you think about it. Having free will is pretty cool. But when I was brought up in Catholic school, one of the things that was passed on to me in my teachings was that God has the ability to come in and tweak things one way or the other if he so desires. Probably not supposed to, but he can and he does. And when times get really bad, times are pretty bad right now. I was just reading this morning that the collapse of the economy and what was that, 29? The Great Depression, is that what they called that? They're saying, and this is pretty, well, I think Gates was one of them, and who is the other one? Kasakian? I can't pronounce his last name. But you know, there's people out there saying that the depression recession we're going into is going to be worse than 29. If we're all struggling now, and we are, what are we going to do when this other deal starts happening with our economy and it just tanks so bad that people are left scraping in the gutters and alleys and dumpsters for food? It's going to get there. Well, anyway, that's what they say. I don't know if they're going to or not. I'm not an economist. But I'm struggling right now, and I guess there's a lot of people that are not struggling right now, but I'm struggling right now, and I don't like it. And when I was talking about God, I didn't get much into the devil. Maybe next week I'll talk a little bit more about that, but it seems like if there's little kids, infants, children, little people that have cancers, as in at St. Jude's Hospital, and some of those die or have been sick for a long time, even though they're just very, very young. What sense does that make? What sense does that make? If there's a mom and dad, I don't know, a couple kids or something like that, and they're either out of work or not getting sufficient work to support their family financially. And it's not been going on for a month or two, but it's been going on for several years. And the kids are very young, and they're getting less and less. That's a family in lack, not for a short period of time. They're poverty, but it's not for a short period of time. What's up with that? What's up with that? So where I'm going, those are just two examples. Here's a guy behind me walking. He's a bum. He's just looking for something to steal out of the back of my truck bed. And what's he carrying? Somehow he found a little plastic bottle of mustard, it looks like. I guess that's what he's eaten today, is some mustard out of that bottle he probably got out of a dumpster. So, I mean, that's exactly what I'm talking about. How long do we do this? I gave you, I don't know, a couple examples. Kids, I don't know, there's hundreds of kids, thousands of kids probably dying right now of cancer. Parents are losing everything they have because they have to save their kid. They're going to do that. The poor families that are in lack and poverty and all over the country. I'm not even talking about all over the world. And that's been going on for a long, long, long time. And the kids, they don't even have clothes in America. They don't have food in America. Their dad probably goes out and illegally kills something in order to bring some food home. The mother probably figures out some way to steal some food out of the grocery stores. I don't know how they survive. For people such as myself and the millions of people that are like me, trust me, there's millions. I'm not unique. There's all the government programs. When you get old, when you get to be a senior, you qualify to get food allowance. Now think about that. How disgusting is that? I, along with other millions of seniors, I think we get $180 a month for the whole year, right? Each month, $180 for food. But it can only be, which is good, which is really good, only be healthy food like fish and vegetables and fruits and, staples and things like that. You can't buy any nonsense food. You could probably go buy a 10-pound bag of rice. I don't know, things of that nature. What's happened that we have to do that? And they're talking about lowering Social Security for seniors. No, we give them too much money. We'll just take it away. Coffee. I'm just going through incidental things I'm thinking about. The cheapest coffee, I guess, used to be McDonald's for $1. You get every drink in the world for $1. And now basically everything's doubled, including their food. All their food, maybe a burger. Hell, I remember when a burger was 10 cents, but, burgers used to be maybe $1. Now they're $2. Everything has doubled. You go to a grocery store, everything has doubled. Gas has doubled. There's no reason for gas to double. There's no reason for gas to go up. Go do your research on why gas has gone up. I'm not even going to talk about it. But trust me, there's no rational reason, intelligent reason, other than greed to raise the cost of gas. People can't afford gas. So it goes on and on and on and on, and it doesn't stop. It isn't something that's temporary. It hasn't been temporary. It's been long term. It's going to go even longer, and it's going to dive and get even worse. And we're going to end up in a civil war. People now are fighting on the streets, where I live anyway, over just incidental things. I remember, 20 years ago, they used to talk about road rage. Now it's just a common occurrence. So, swinging back around to the God thing, and what I was taught, in Catholic school growing up, and what they told me, which hasn't been true. That's another whole subject about what information do we get and what's accurate and what's not accurate. Well, nothing's accurate anymore. They're saying that God can step in from time to time and tweak things a little bit this way or a little bit that way to help or improve mankind. He ain't doing it. The amount of kids that are dying are the same amount, if not greater by now. Why wouldn't God want to step in there and tweak that a little bit? All the years cancer's been around, they don't have a cure for cancer. They don't even have an idea about how to treat cancer. People just die. Neuroscience is the direction to go in order for people to heal themselves. Children, I don't know how that works. We kind of think ourselves into ill health and into being healed. We kind of think ourselves into that. If you can think so much negative thoughts, what do they say? We have 70,000 thoughts a day, and 90% of those are negative. No, this is science, not me. 90% of your 70,000 thoughts a day are negative. Follow me on this. Therefore, collective consciousness, which is everybody's thought in the world, right, affects the outcome to even those little kids with cancer. That's where the cancer came from, as an example. It's not hereditary. We know that. Medicine has now proven that just terminal diseases are not hereditary. There's a couple. Sickle cell is heredity, and stage 1 is heredity. And I think there's 2 others that science has proved is as a result of heredity. So the way we think, according to neuroscience, becomes collective consciousness of the world that gives terminal illness to good people. Children. They didn't do anything. Where's God? Where's God? Are you supposed to go to church and give praise and glory to God every Sunday? I'm not sure. What are you giving him praise and glory for? Help me with that. Well, dear God, Lord, Heavenly Father, I'm here today, this Sunday, for an hour to give you praise and glory. For what? For what? I'm just looking for answers. I'm not making statements. I'm talking about there's a lot of people who have the thoughts that I just expressed. That doesn't mean that's their belief system or that's the way the world turns. It means that it all contributes to collective consciousness, which turns out to be horrible for little kids, for adults, for people that are just good people. Why should somebody get pick a disease that's terminal? Why should they get that if they've done nothing in thoughts, feelings, or actions that would categorize them as being susceptible to dying with a terminal disease? Neuroscience, again, I don't even know why we use Newtonian Western medicine. My God, I don't even want to go there. But, we upregulate diseased genes from the environment based on how we think, act, and feel, and collectively through collective consciousness, right? Likewise, we can turn that around. We can turn that around by doing the opposite, not allowing a single negative thought to enter your noggin. Back to God. So if God can and does and has in the past tweaked things, probably for the better. Well, I guess he's killed off civilization. I think he's killed off civilization. That's everybody in the world 5 times. He has gotten so mad. It's in the Bible. Just go fucking read the Bible, you morons. So he's killed off civilization 5 times. Might be more. Because the collective consciousness of humanity was so bad. How they thought, felt, and acted was so out of control. He got so mad, he didn't come down and tweak it for the better. He came down and said, "Screw you bastards. I'm killing every one of you." And he did. God did that. God, G-O-D, did that. Nobody else did that. Nobody else has the capability of killing off every living creature on planet Earth. Nobody has that ability except Source. So I've gone too long again today, ranting and raving about just, we all need to be on the bandwagon. We all need to participate. We all need to have a little better thinking. If God is not going to come down and tweak things from time to time for our betterment, And he may get pissed off enough he just kills everybody off again, which I think the Bible even talks about. He's planning on doing that. Well, what are we going to do? We have free will. Have you ever noticed how nasty people are when they talk to other people about other people? Did you hear what I just said? Sometimes when people talk to another person about another person, they're not making statements that are in that other person's favor. Huh? It's collective consciousness, right? It's just negativity, more and more and more and more. Let me tell you about Joe Blow over there. Joe Blow has nothing. Lives on the streets. Why would you say that to another person about another person? Why would you say that? Here's what happens. The other person that you're talking to cops an attitude on that other person he's talking about. Well, I don't want to associate with that kind of person. Why not? Isn't that the person God put us on the planet to go find? What's the word? And mission to? Help. Oh, geez, I got so many examples. Okay, two real quick ones, then I'm going to stop. Catholic Church. I go into a Catholic church in Scottsdale, Arizona. Very prominent Catholic church. Movie stars actually fly in from California or live in Scottsdale, and they go to this church, right? And I went in, this is some years ago, and I said to the main priest there, and then I met with a committee, and I said, I'm not doing very well, and I don't know where to turn. And I was brought up as a Catholic, and, Catholics are supposed to be of service, to the poor and needy. And you have a very affluent church, and I'm just wondering, is there any possibility I could meet with someone that could help direct me in a more positive way to get employed and work and housing and all that kind of good things. And, is it okay if I park out here in the parking lot for a short while? And from the head priest, which everybody knows, down to the committee, they all said, you're a liability, get the hell out of here. Story number one, true. Story number two, I was down in Apache Junction. There's a Monsignor down there who runs a Catholic church. Kind of used to like that church. And, it seems like more recently they lock up churches as soon as Mass is over. So needy people don't come in. I don't know what you would do, fall asleep in a pew or, I don't know, steal something, maybe. And so this is some years ago, I used to, there was a statue of the Blessed Virgin Mary on the side of the church in the parking lot area. It was all chained and locked off, but you could see. You were probably 40 or 50 feet from the statue behind a gate. And I used to go up there at 4 to 5 o'clock and say my evening prayers outside of the statue of the Blessed Virgin Mary. And one day the Monsignor comes walking up to me and says, "You can't do that. You're upsetting the neighborhood. They don't like that. They don't want you doing what you're doing. You can't pray here." I said, "No, this is a Catholic church. I'm just saying my evening prayers to the Blessed Virgin Mary statue because I can't get in any way to kneel down and make a visit and say my prayers." "No, you're misunderstanding me. You're off limits here. We can't allow you any longer to drive onto the church property. You're offending people in the neighborhood. They don't want to see you praying, and we cannot have you pray any longer." True story. I turned both of those stories into the Archdiocese of Phoenix, right? You know, to where all the laws and regulations are made and everything. And gave a detailed account of, both stories. Never heard back. I'm going to make a statement, and I don't mean to be sarcastic, I just mean to be truthful. That's the reason a little child is dying of cancer in St. Jude's, because of the Catholic Church and the collective consciousness of their thinking. God bless everybody. Take care of one another, and I'll look forward to talking to y'all again real soon. Thanks a lot. See you. Bye.